Hello everyone, welcome to Bronze and I gotta say, after last night's race, what an incredible last two races we've had in silver. Again, almost carbon copy of what happened in Miami. Then last two Grand Prix winners have come from basically the back of the field. Then who needs qualifying? Goodness gracious me! Here tonight we are in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. I can't say it. That's it. San Marino Grand Prix, round 6 of the World Championship here in Bronze tonight. As you can see, we're straight into the action, straight from the get to go, and the last two races have been inflicted with rain. Are we going to get to race the third time with challenge tonight? Are we going to get more rain on the horizon? Well, let's wait and see, shall we? Just watching Sick as Muck then. It was just accelerating out of the final turn. I'm ready to go on a lap then around this fantastic circuit. Of course, we are very much going into the heart of the European season, aren't we? The World Championship, of course. This is round 7 next week is in Barcelona, Spain then. Two very traditional old school circuits. Can't wait for that. Yo, from Slayer. Good evening to you, Slayer, then, who I don't think is out on circuit yet, as we just watch Sick as Muck then tackle the Villeneuve chicane then before coming into Toza then. I think this man who was very much flirted with the podiums last season and potentially with a Grand Prix win in Silverstone. This season it has not really been much to write home about, has it? Sick as Muck leaving a lot on the table at the top of the hill there. So Sick as Muck just keeping it as more of a banker at the moment, isn't it? As it rises over the crest of the hill then. So we're about 4 minutes into this qualifying session. I'm on board now with the Aston Martin driver then. Of course, I keep losing my sound a bit. Let me just put it over there. Because I'm sat too far to the left. That's better. Oops. Oh no, I've lost Sick as Muck. There he is. Yellow flags then, as one of the Williams cars has come a cropper. I think it's a Williams car anyway. Or it might be an Alpine actually. It's come a cropper. As out of Tamburello, by the looks of things, as Sick as Muck goes faster than the Aston Martin to set us on our journey here tonight then. So that is the first time round of the session here tonight. Good stuff indeed then. We've got one super sub in tonight. That is not Marsky, by the way, but Marsky on a rich runner form in the Haas car. He is fast moment. Itema is a Grand Prix winner. Car 91 is currently second at the moment. A 16.8, a 15.9, and a 17.0. These times are quite spread out then as we get going in this qualifying session. Vassier has been very much in the wilderness in the last couple of weeks or so. But hopefully he can get himself back in the saddle, back in the horse. We'll take a look at the championship in just a jiffy when it all calms down here in this qualifying session. Only one qualifying session, of course. It's 18 minutes long. 18 minutes long, of course, then. So yes, not much time to get yourself sorted. Duncan Dave making his 25th Grand Prix start tonight for Bronze. So good stuff indeed there from Duncan Dave. I love it. Kiki Slayer goes second past a 10 plus second race. So that's a very good time indeed. Then Dynamo Dan, then a difficult race last time out there for Dynamo Dan. His traditional salmon pink and yellow helmet there, as now building up the hill is Dynamo Dan in the Haas car as well. Love these onboard shots. Then this circuit is so difficult to nail, so difficult to get right, rain or shine. It is a brutal circuit, because if you're going to run wide or even clip the corner even acutely too much, you will get a penalty. Very much old school as well. We are expecting probably safety cars as well. Of course, the weather front here in Imola has been quite extreme, hasn't it? We've had rain in both races there. Of course, the rain cleared up perfectly last night when the lap before the safety car came in, didn't it? And what an incredible race it was indeed. A big ultimate beast one in the end, didn't he? With Irvine, who did cross the line first, but unfortunately for Irvine, he did pick up a penalty for his misdemeanor with Dylan, I think it was, wasn't it? Which is a bit, which I think that was the results thus far anyway. They might still change then, of course, as the technically The incident report is still open, isn't it? So we just got to Duncan David, who's just gone at 6th fastest on there on his 25th start here tonight. In car 29, Duncan David. Dynamo Dan's just gone 4th fastest. We've got TK, who's gone 2nd fastest there, and just about 200ths of a second away from Vessier at the moment. Very good stuff indeed. TK on very much uphill trajectory now, with an incredible, dominating, impeccable performance in Miami just over a week ago. His second Grand Prix win then. Dr. Troop said, of course, dominated the Bahrain Grand Prix almost 5-6 races ago now. Has gone fast as well. And look at the times at the top there between Slayer, TK, Vessier and Dr. Troops. Very close indeed then, as Dr. Troops has taken a very novel line. I mean, who would do that? I'm not a ginger guy. We also need to welcome back Joseph, who is, of course... returning back to ALR Bronze, and this is 16th or 17th start now. A former Grand Prix winner, Joseph is as well. So very much a lot of pedigree in the Aston Martin tonight then, as he is making a return. So great to see Joseph back in the car in the British Racing Green as well. Smithy Almighty in the McLaren now. He has unfortunately invalidated his time in car 9. Marcus Ericsson will be disappointed at that. Of course, Marcus Ericsson was the last driver to use number 9, wasn't he? So Smith Almighty is in great company, isn't he? The other famous car on our remember is I think Kimi Räikkönen in 2005. It was 2005, wasn't it? Of course, that was also McLaren. He was driving for the McLaren as well. Then, so yeah, very rich run of form there for Smith and White. Sticking him up there, tackling the first chicane again now. Very much fighting. As they're just on board now with Smith, you're much going to the Villeneuve chicane, and good luck, Bronze. Knowles here saying, hello, I wish I could compete in Bronze as reserve, you're just working lots. Have fun in the race today. Looking forward to watching from Kaz. It's great. Yeah, we can't wait to see you back in the car, Kaz. It's certainly going to be, cannot wait to see you back in the car, Kaz, and hopefully sooner rather than later as well. But of course, Kaz is working a lot over in Canada. Just on board Kiki, a 2-time pole sitter. Can he get a hat-trick tonight? His first pole position of his career. Let's find out there for Kiki. As he builds himself up the hill. Then, hello all racers, hello Sean, good luck, Bronze. Camera is saying good evening to you, Camera Racer. I don't think he got a point last night, did he? Unfortunately, Camera Racer one of the races. It was very unlucky where the rain just where the track. Well, I didn't think the track. I can't believe that all the drivers came into the pit so early on there for slick tires, because it looked still very much wet out there, but it was so quick to drive, wasn't it? Brilliant race indeed then. 2 races here in the last 2 races still have been absolute doozies. And as I mentioned on the top of the broadcast, who needs qualified, eh? Kiki there, very close to the edge of the track limits there, but he kept it in play. That is how good Kiki is on 1 lap pace there, and going second fastest there by 700ths of a second. This is impeccably close there. Fantastic, isn't it? Here, this is exactly what you expect in ALR action, don't you? Brilliant stuff indeed. I love that. Very much all against the wall and beyond there for Kiki. Not literally in the wall, but fantastic, wasn't it? I thought he was out of bounds. Brilliant stuff indeed. Serious Mushroom evening, all pink helmets for Mr. Rage tonight. Then indeed, then of course Mr. Rage's was unfortunately diagnosed with cancer and is currently in hospital, hopefully recovering, and hopefully and we all wish her the best of luck there from everyone in ALR as well, and Mr. Rage himself who missed Sunday's event there. Yes, of course. So awful news there. The boss told me just before we went, about half an hour before we went on air in Bronze. So yeah, we wish Mr. Rage the very best. Just watching New Potato, who's been very good this season, hasn't he? But unfortunately, he's not very good on this lap. He's invalidated his time now, gone a bit wide down. Because he's gone a bit wide, he is. That is it then, of course. The track extension around this circuit, or going over the white line, is brutal, isn't it? So you very much got to be at the edge of the limit and beyond. Here's Itemizer in the Ferrari, now flicking it at the top of the hill then. So Formula moment is, Slayer is saying Smithy has blocked his lap. He is fuming at the McLaren driver, and there might be a few choice words, I think, in the paddock after this session ends potentially, but hopefully it'll all be forgotten about by the time the race comes on. However, drivers don't seem to forget, do they, when they impede each other, do they? As Swan Strikes has provided a very important announcement that, well, Swan Strikes unfortunately not here, not racing again, as he is currently, I think he's got problem with his eye at the moment, hasn't he, unfortunately for Swan Strikes, so he is out indefinitely. Itemizer going at 6 fastest, but no, more importantly than Itemizer going 6 fastest, potentially, is Cirrus Mushroom is doing a qualifying lap. Good gracious me. Absolutely. I wouldn't say it's more important than Itemizer going to 6, definitely not, but it's a very rare thing to see a Mushroom on a qualifying lap, but he is going for it now as I think Smith Almighty has gone 11 fast there. He is currently the slowest of the drivers so far, apart from Sicker's Muck, but Sicker's Muck has only done a lap on the medium compound tyres thus far. I can go to the hill then. TK currently on pole position for the Williams team. Remember last week he got pole position in Miami. He stayed there, didn't he? He was absolutely incredible, was he, to say the least. Fantastic there from TK. He really drove superb. Well, Vettel S there from the 2010 onwards. Slayer going 5th fast. I think actually no, Slayer hasn't gone 5th fast. He just started his lap then. Marski's just coming to the pits. Diamond down 3/10 of a second up at the moment now. New Potato has got to put in another time with only 10th fastest out for the championship leader. He is very much in the carbon fibre zone. This track is very difficult to overtake on. We seen last night. Cirrus Russia goes 11 faster. We seen last night that Ultimate Beast was very much a beast, wasn't he? He certainly wasn't being overtaken, was he? Even with Dylan, I think, with DRS there. Winnie down in 50th at the moment. Now, Scooby Stew has gone 16 faster than the Alpine car at the top of the crest there. Vintage, Alibi, Styles, and Brooksy. Also, Brooksy, I think, making his 24th start tonight in the Alfa Romeo as well. Nosey, Cirrus Smash, Swan Shanks, get a new eye. Goodness me, he is working on it. To be honest, I wonder, is it a bit like Minority Report, if anyone's ever watched that film? A very good film, but I must admit, if you don't like eyes or anything like that, perhaps it's not a good film to watch. I sort of don't like eyes. Any horror film when it comes to eyes, I'm not really a big fan of. Slayer very much at the edge of the performance of the Mercedes at the moment, 7,800th of a second so far. Come on, Stars, get out there, Swan Shanks is saying there. As a New Potato, 4,000 second improvement there. Here is Cirrus Mushroom. As a lovely shot there from Cirrus Mushroom going over the brow of the hill. What about Sick as Muck then? Flipping half, 4.5 minutes to go in this session. Good gracious me, I haven't even had a chance to talk about all kinds of rubbish, but that's the only problem with short qualifying, isn't it? I must admit, that was very lucky there for the 6 months. I thought he was going to have a track violation there, but he's gone 12 fastest nonetheless in the Aston Martin. Looking a bit more on par tonight, isn't he? You should watch Teeth, Sean, probably your favourite film. Unfortunately, Nosey, I have watched Teeth, and my God, I have been scarred for life. Oh gosh, there is oh my goodness me! Slayer have taken liberties with the track there. Goodness gracious me. I have been scarred for life, and what made it worse is that someone told me it was about a dentist, I thought someone told me it was just about a dentist, like a woman dentist who was, thriving and stuff like that, struggling and it was meant to be a happy-go-lucky film. It really wasn't. If any of you have not watched Teeth, I don't recommend it, especially for the gentlemen watching this program as well. I've got to say, yeah, I won't be watching anything like that again. Goodness me. Yeah. It's also decided to. That's also I decided to go on Grinder as well. Right, we just got Stickers Muck crawling back to the pits. Then Joseph, his teammate on the Havran, coming back out on Circus Rise. Great to see Joseph back in this. So I'm sure that he was. I think he finished third in the end in the Coalboat Championship. I think it was season 2, wasn't it? Way back yesteryear. Brilliant stuff indeed. wants to do a bit of lawnmower, and Slayer is saying that. Joining the Valtteri Bottas fan club. Very good stuff indeed. Right, whilst I've got a bit of a lull here, I say, but yeah, I have got a bit of a lull whilst I watch Joseph. Let's take a look at the drivers and the constructors, shall we? It is New Potato who leads the way on 34 points, then in front of Vessier, but Vessier very much back to his best side after some difficult rounds so in the last couple of races. So Dr. Troops in third at the moment there, 27 points behind Vessier, 61 points behind New Potato at the moment. Whatever happens here tonight, New Potato down in 10th at the moment now. It will not lose the lead in the World Championship. Dynamo Dan is in 4th. Serious Mushroom, just like last season, a consistent mushroom, isn't he? On 36 points. And 1 point behind him is the incredible TK from last week there. TK, very much, if TK drives like that each and every week, then he is going to be a very difficult man to stop. That is to say the least, isn't it, Joseph? Starting his lap now, then coming into the first chicane. We have got Marsky in 7th position, Slayer in 8th. Good start for Slayer, but he has had a couple of issues as of late there. Hopefully he can get himself back on the horse, back in the saddle. Brooksy in 9th position. All his points came from Azerbaijan. 10th is Stars. Brilliant performance there from Stars in the last 2 races. Alibi 11, Vintage in 12th position, 12 and 11 points respectively. Smithy, Almighty and Winnie on 7 points there. 4 points for Itemizer, 2 for Duncan Dave, 1 for Kiki and Sick as Muck. Scooby Stew and Swan Shanks is yet to score. Out of Acro Minerale goes Joseph. He's gone wide, and that's invalidation there. That's tracker limits there. Unfortunately, he's got a slap on the wrist. That is him done. He has time for one more run. Does he have the deployment now? We'll find out then who's behind him then, who's on the lap. Marsky's on the lap, but I think Marsky won't be too far back. New Potato is on a lap as well. Very impressive start from New Potato. Serious Mushroom also getting very serious in this, and he is out there on a lap as well. Star's also out there. So who is the furthest driver forward then? Duncan Dave. I think it will only be New Potato. Well, New Potato is crawling there, so I think it might actually be Duncan Dave here. So it is Duncan Dave then. Let's see what I can do there. 45 seconds to go. Oh no! Oh no, that's okay. I'm okay. Duncan Dave then, who is currently on a quick lap at the moment. Let's see what we can do. For half a minute to go in this qualifying session, across the line, and Duncan Dave goes 11th fastest then in the Williams car. Smithy Almighty goes 12th fastest in the McLaren. He's improved by 8 tenths of a second there. Good stuff. The Dr. Troops is out of qualifying now, just going into Tozer. That's a big blow then. Unfortunately, there is we got Dynamo Dan going 8 tenths of a second quicker now. Vintage is out of qualifying, but looks things down in 18th position now. So they come thick and fast across the line at the moment. Joseph at the top of the hill there. The second half of Marsky going in a very fine and incredible 6th position there. Good stuff indeed. What about Serious Mushroom? Brooks is retired from the session. Serious Mushroom in the top 10. Lovely stuff indeed there. Serious Mushroom will be happy with that, I am sure. Winnie coming across the line. 2 tenths of a second down, unfortunately for Winnie. That's it. He's done. 16th for Winnie. 17th for Scooby Stew. 19th for Alibi at the moment. As Stars is 3 seconds down in the first intermediate split time. They're down in 15th position there. Sick as Muck is, as I thought he was going a bit wayward there. He's still going a bit wayward there. Joseph, 4 tenths second up, half a second up in the second split time here for the Aston Martin driver. Brilliant stuff there on his return there for Joseph, very much in the heart of the midfield, or the heart of the top 10, I should say. He qualifies 7th on the same row as the Ferrari of Itemizer. TK is out of qualifying, but he is currently, Bessier on pole position there for the Red Bull team, and he is really, he is from the cat amongst the pigeons here. Bessier has currently on pole position there, and I think the Kikis unfortunately had a mishap somewhere there. Dynamo Dan has improved to 7th fastest, much better. New Patel, the championship leader, only 6th fastest here tonight there. Oh goodness gracious me, and that is it then for qualifying, and it is Vessier on pole position then for the Red Bull team, and he will be overjoyed with this result. Overjoyed with this result then for Vessier. That is his first pole position of the season for the Red Bull team. And yes, good stuff indeed there for Vessier. Brilliant. I'm sure that's his first ever pole position, if I'm not very much mistaken. Let me get me old specs on. Brilliant stuff indeed there for Vessier. That is his first hour pole position as well. Magnificent stuff indeed. I think that Brabbitt got his first hour pole position last night as well. So great stuff there. Debut pole positions here two debut pole positions here in the here in Imola in Imola last night and tonight. But Vessier pole position there. Of course, he was very much starting to lose track in the championship between himself and New Patel, but he has bounced back incredibly well in qualifying. But can he get the race done as well? Remember what happened last night? Brabbitt was dominating the most of the race last night. The rain eased off at precisely the wrong time when the safety car was out there, and that helped the drivers. It was very much behind the eight ball, so to speak. There, so it's never over till it's over there. But Vessier has done a very good job tonight. There, pole position, his first pole position of his career in ALR and in bronze. 37 hundredths of a second in front of TK, who was second today. But TK very much looking to build on from Miami last time out, with Dr. Troops in third and Kiki in fourth position there. Very good stuff indeed there. Look at the times there. The top 10 separated by less than half a second there. What an incredible qualifying there. Joseph on his return to ALR, ninth fastest, and the former Grand Prix winner in bronze, as we head on to the Grand Prix. But before I do rest, let's take a look at the Constructors' Championship, shall we? Then it's Ferrari who leads the way, 42 points in front of the Red Bull in second. Hasser in third position at the moment. Joseph left the session. Oh no, the dream return could be turning into a nightmare now. That is not what we want to see, is it? Oh dear, oh dear. Hasser in third position at Alfa Romeo, fourth, 2 points behind the Haas team. Alpine, 4 points behind the Alfa Romeo team. Williams, 19 points behind the Alpine. Mercedes are in seventh, eighth McLaren, Aston Martin, ninth, and AlphaTauri having a miserable start to the season, down in 10th position in the Constructors' Championship. Come on, Star Swatch, like saying, but it could have been way faster. I was down in the final sector, Vessier was saying then, but in the end, it doesn't make it. In the end, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever, because of course he got pole position here tonight in Imola. Then, as we now start to sort out the grid, then I hope Joseph can get back in pronto here, because I think that if he's not in by the time the formation lap starts, I don't think he's going to start the race, unfortunately. That is not good at all. And my sister's with me, but unfortunately she should know that I'm busy at the moment, so she's going to have to wait. Right, yeah, ignore that. Right, anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? We've got more important things to talk about now. Right, hard tires for Vintage, for Stickers Muck, for for TK, and for Vessier. I'm going to go back to Fretling, because I like what Nosy does. I quite like going back to Fretling. Sean, it's Mushroom sandbagging. He deserves more than P11. Serious Mushroom did say that he had more in the piggy bank, didn't he? Unfortunately, so he did make an error on his final run there. But yes, I think he should be higher than 11th position. But still, good stuff there from Serious Mushroom. Normally, he scores big points from the back of the grid. So I'm expecting a podium now from Serious Mushroom. Let's see what he can do. He messed up his lap. He was half a second faster in the second sector there. Brooksy, Serious Mushroom's teammates, 24. 19th is Alibi. 18th is Vintage. Scoopy Stew in 17th position. Winnie in 16th. I hope that Joseph can take control of his car. 15th is Styles. 14th is Sick as Muck. 13th is Smithy Almighty, who may be in trouble with the stewards after this one for the impediment. Is it impediment a word? Well, it is now. Impediment of Slayer. 12th is Duncan Dave. Serious Pressure 11th position. Itemizer in 10th. Only 4 points so far for the Ferrari driver. Remember what happened now on Sunday night in Gold then. Ferrari very much got their tails back up, haven't they? And a brilliant performance for both drivers of Vesely and for Coop. Brilliant 17. Joseph is still a ghost at the moment. No, it's not looking good. It's all Haas, row 4 then, with Dynamo Dan and Marsky, 7th and 8th position there. New Patel, the championship leader, down in 6th position mode there for New Patel. He's got it all to do. Slayer back in the thick of things there in 5th position. Great 17. Key. He's going good in qualifying. Can he get a clean pair of heels in the race? Dr. Troops there. Of course, we haven't seen, of course, he dominated Bahrain, but since then, of course, he's missed races, and of course, he hasn't been, I don't think he's been on the podium since. Vessier, disqualified from the session, so he's going to be slightly beyond the grid slot there. TK there just lining himself up on the grid now, preparing himself for the start. 32 laps around the Imola circuit. Then Vessier first out pole position of his career in bronze tonight. Can he convert that into a win? Then he needs to convert that into a win. It is very early in the championship, I know, but he doesn't want to let New Potato get too far in front. And New Potato only 6 at the moment here. Right. Here we go, and I don't think Joseph has started. I don't think, unfortunately, I think Joseph's out of this race before it's even begun then. Lights are out then, and then the cars are now raring to go! Here we go then! And Vessier didn't get a decent start. Like, see, made a problem with, oh, look at that, there's contact then at the front already, and there's an Aston Martin. Joseph pulling up and out of the race, and TK on the outside, Vessier then holding the room, and TK's gone spearing up and into the gravel, and there's contact, there's chaos in the midfield. And Joseph out of the race, and Sick as Muck jumped down the order. 2 McLarens have also, no, sorry, 1 McLaren have had a difficult start. Serious Mushroom up in the 5th position already. Vessier getting a very strong arm there at the start here. It is very difficult down into turn 1. It's the Vessier leads. Dr. Troops in 2nd position there. We got more yellow flags at the back there as Brooksy's drawn into 19th position there. Vessier, then Dr. Troops. What about New Potato? New Potato there was, oh goodness me, I think he was teleporting there. Marsky in 4th, Serious Mushroom in 5th. TK, I wonder if he should have got out of that potential there. Joseph has joined, but he's out of the race. Unfortunately, that is heartbreak for Joseph. Dynamo down in 7th. Scooby Stew up 9 positions. He's up into 8th position. An incredible start there. Slayer also trying to come back through the field as well. One of he was caught up in the first lap shenanigans there as he go down into the chicane there. And accelerating away then. Vintage up 7th position as well. Big movers there. Big losers as well. Itemizer are down to 18th position. A terrible start for the 2nd Ferrari. Oh dear, oh dear. That is not good at all then. So we have got a very unusual, lovely sunny day then. New Potato then struggling right there, but Vessier, who is, goodness me, and look at Dr. Troops there flying past her. He's on the medium tyres out. He's trying to make hay whilst the sun is shining. The man who won Bahrain in such incredible style takes the lead here, and now is ahead of Vessier, and the DRS is not available to the end of this lap, of course. So of course we're keeping an eye on that one and the gap there. Look at that, that is Vinny there. Oh, goodness me, what's that? I thought I said a bit of contact there. I'm not sure, but Sick as Muck up the inside, passes Winnie. Over to 12th position there, Sick as Muck recovering back through the field. Pit stoppers there for Dynamo Dan, Styles, Duncan, David, Itemizer. There's a lot of pit stops there because there was a lot of, I think there was a lot of contact, wasn't there, in the opening stage of this Grand Prix. Here is Slayer, who's dropped from 5th down into 9th or 10th, I think it was. He's now back up into 8th position there, so decent recovery after what looked to be a pretty difficult start. Scooby Stew, what an incredible start there, flying up into 7th position on there. We got everything crossed for Scooby Stew. Can he get this car home from here on it? He's got 30 more laps out there. There's a long way to go in this race there, but Scooby Stew knows that, can he just survive? That is the question here. And the question is also about the rain as well. We've had 2 rain-affected races over the past 2 days in gold and silver. Are you going to get 3rd time's the charm in bronze tonight as well? We'll find out, but at the moment it's beautiful sunshine here in Imola tonight there. Out of the final turn, out of the 2nd Ravazza then. DRS has now been enabled then. DRS will be, there's only 1 DRS zone around this circuit. And of course, at the moment, no, I don't think that Slayer needs it, and he's through. And Marsky also gets Serious Russia gets past Marsky, but he's having a look at the field of chicane, but no dice at the moment. Now he's going to have to back out of that one. DRS zone will be available at the end of this lap then. So Vessier, who would probably like to keep in the DRS of Dr. Troops, but Dr. Troops are very much sprinting away at the moment. And well, having said that, the gap is starting to equalise now. So Vessier trying to keep that within that second end, which is going to be crucial in this one. Vintage and Alibi making contact out of Tosa, and that's a terrible run there from Sick as Muck, and he's dropped down now. And Alibi is going to be looking over his shoulder because Winnie is coming after him as well. Then no dice at the moment, but Winnie having the 12th position there. Sick as Muck into 13th hour on those hard tires, of course. Good stuff indeed that are on board now with Sick as Muck. Then, of course, Sick as Muck, a difficult start to his campaign in bronze. Scooby Shoe's got a 3-second penalty. Penalties are going to be a major factor in this one. There's Styles is in the pits again. That is not good at all for Styles, is it? Sick as Muck there, really struggling. Look, it looks like he's losing. I'm not sure if he's losing power or not, but out of the traction zones, he's really struggling here. Vessier is about a second behind him as out of the pit side comes McLaren there. So Vessier was just just about in DRS detection zone here, as we just got one of the McLarens out, just letting through the race here. And Star's already a lap down, and this is going to be a longer race now for Stars. And Scooby Stew in 9th position there, so he's dropping down. Unfortunately, Scooby Stew is his brilliant start, but unfortunately at the moment the Alpine driver is struggling to keep up the pace, and Sick as Muck and Smithy Almighty having an almighty scrap here. And now, oh goodness me, and Sick as Muck there just trying to take the race in line now. I don't think he realised that Brooksy was so close to him, because he very much was forcing Brooksy off the road there. I think that Brooksy would not be too impressed with that, but he's through anyway nonetheless. Sick as Muck went a bit too deep into Toza, and Brooksy up into 14th position there from Sick as Muck down into 50. There's a problem with Aston Martin. That Aston Martin is not turning at all. He's got so much understeer. Is there major damage on the front wing? It doesn't look like it, does it? But that Aston Martin is not happy at all. Vintage has dropped down to the top 10 now. He's down in that position there. Here's Winnie. Remember, Winnie, incredible in at Baku there. Could have and should have scored a lot more points there. He got 7 in the end there from the sprint race. Didn't score in the Grand Prix itself, did he? But but he's looking very strong again here tonight then. Vescher's out DRS detection zone now, but he's also out DRS detection zone of his closest of the man he's challenging for the championship, which is New Potato then is. Now we've got Serious Mushroom dropping down into 5th position there. Morski up into 4th then. What about TK? Has TK got damage there from that opening battle here? Here's Serious Mushroom. He's having a look into the field of chicane. He thinks better of it, and stays in 5th then. TK is on the harder tyres, of course, so he's going to be picking his strategy, picking his options here. But at this moment in time, he's down in 6th position there after him and Vessier is a bit too close for comfort into turn 1 there. So that is the story of the race so far. Was the second corner, and up the inside goes Winnie to take it. Sakarin at the inside passes Vintage there, and goodness me, brutal as you like. But here's Smithy Almighty. Where is he? Oh goodness gracious me, trying to go on the outside here. Remember, Michael Schumacher had a horrific shunt there back in '95 in the Benetton Renault. Now Brooksy up into 13th as well. Down into 14th goes Vintage there. Struggling Vintages in the Alpha Tower, similar to Sick as Muck there. We know that Sick as Muck's got awful understeer, absolutely hellacious understeer in that Aston Martin. Not sure what's going on there for Sick as Muck, but he's just got no pace, has he? Even on those hard tyres, I was expecting to be a bit quicker than that. Now into one of the first Ravazzas then. To be honest, not a chance there for Smith Almighty at that stage of seeding set, but however, he might get a chance on the back straight, and Marsky and Sirius Mushroom just swap positions there. So the gap is about 3 seconds between Winnie and Alibi. So Winnie will not have any DRS. There is Alibi in the Red Bull. His teammate currently, who is all of a sudden really reeled in Dr. Troops, and Dr. Troops has lost about a second somewhere. That is not good at all. Look at that. That is Vessier all over the back now of Dr. Troops. Has Dr. Troops made a mistake, or has Vessier really started to put the hammer down? He certainly has. Now as he got eye to eye over a 3-second penalty, down in 18th position. A miserable start for the Ferrari driver. The second Ferrari down in 18th position there, as just at the top of it as well. And Vessier then all over the back now of Dr. Troops, and he's got the pace, because I don't think Dr. Troops made a mistake. I think Vessier is just absolutely flying out there at the moment, isn't he? Vessier going for his second Grand Prix win of the season then. New Potatoes has 2 wins as well, along with Dr. Troops, who has 1 Grand Prix win in the opening 5 races. And Aliboy's got a 3-second penalty. Penalties is going to be crucial in this race then. Out of the second Ravazza then, DRS is available now for Vessier, and he is now coming through then just like a freight train through, passes Dr. Troops, takes the lead here in Imola. And now Dr. Troops said, I'm wondering if Vessier may run off and hide in this race now, because the way that he closed in, Six Months got a 3-second penalty, the way he closed in on Dr. Troops there was quite impressive indeed. Then up into 9th now goes the second Red Bull then of Alibi. So Alibi now put in 9th position there. Unfortunately got a penalty just a moment or 2 ago whilst he was pushing on, but now let's see if he can stretch his legs then. Scuba Stew unfortunately dropping down the order, so to speak, but he's still in the top 10. Sigus Merck has had enough of those hard tires already, and the car was just undrivable by the looks of things there. When we was on board there, absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. And Tango saying the hard to very durable rider could definitely see softs on the second stint for the hard runners then, so that's the likes of Vestia. Would have been Sick as Muck there, but Sick as Muck there really has already swapped his soft hard tires for soft tires because he is just struggling out there, isn't he? So TK might go on soft as well. Maybe Vintage and Dynamo Dan also down the order, and maybe Item Isa. Scooby Stew's got another penalty, unfortunately, then, so pushing on then. Rabbit then, okay, so head down, pedal to the metal, Rabbit is saying to Serious Mushroom, and he certainly is going for it at the moment, Serious Mushroom is but unfortunately, he's going to be looking over his shoulder once again, because here comes Marsky. Marsky and Serious Mushroom are an almighty scrap at the moment, aren't they, for 4th and 5th position now, but I think that they'll be very happy with this, and Marsky starting off this season much better, isn't it? It's a much more like the old Marsky, a Grand Prix winner in bronze, isn't he? And a multiple podium sitter as well. So I think he'll be very happy with that then. Is now we've got Brooks, the up to 11th position, while coming through the field nicely. And now up into 12th position there. 11th, I say. Smithy down to 12th. The Alpine is very much in striking distance now for Brooksy. Let's see then if Brooks can get past Scooby Shee. Technically, it's already a yellow flag then as Smithy Almighty's off the circuit, out of the exit of the field on chicane. He hasn't touched anything, I don't believe, then, because he's still got all his pieces just about in the right direction there in the McLaren Mercedes, but he's just got a bit of a dirty McLaren now, hasn't he? And unfortunately, he's lost an abundance amount of time now. He's gone from 12th to 14th there and lost about 11-12 seconds because of that trip there. For Smith and White down in 14th, showing for pace at this moment in time there. Look at this, Dr. Troops is not letting Vessier go here, is he then? Because he's now all over the back of the gearbox of the Red Bull again. As they fly past me, look at the gap then between 3rd and 4th position, 4 seconds, and on the outside, Dr. Troops retakes the lead then into turn 1. Brilliant stuff indeed there for the Alpine driver. And Cirrus Mushroom also flying past Marsky and up into 4th position there for Cirrus Mushroom. We've got a lap car just behind these guys there. Brooksy pass errors into the pits, and very early on then is Scooby Stew then. Look for the Alpine mechanics early on then, and it's our new nose cone. It is there, so that's why Scooby Stew is struggling there for pace, and he needs to change his nose cone. He's on the hard tyres, and so that's going to go a very long way on those hard tyres, as Scooby Stew is, but this will be an almighty undercut as well. So we'll see how this one transpires, but he may struggle for pace later on in this race, and Dr. Troops, well off the circuit there, out of Aqua Minerale, and now unfortunately he is very much behind, very much under pressure. Now look at that, and he's very much being pressure being squeezed by the Red Bull driver of Vessier now. Vessier cannot afford any issues in this race, can he? Now, as already he's over a win behind at New Potato, who's currently third in this race so far. The top two have got some pace here tonight, but Dr. Troops, who leads this way at the moment, does he? Of course, would also like to be involved in the championship fight, no doubt about that. On board once again with Vessier. Now here is the Red Bull. He's going to go out to the long side, passes the Alpine, moves himself back into the lead of this one there. So I think that these two might be yo-yoed around until Dr. Troops' tyres start to scream, and he'll need to come in, make a pit stop, throw on maybe the hard tyres, I would hazard a guess, and that's potentially what I'd say for the strategy here. But this is going to be yo-yoing around, I think, for the next couple of laps or so as we go into toes. A lovely shot there as well. Now they climb up the hill then. Up the hill there as well. And look, there's the Red Bull then. Very much, I think both these drivers are probably going to be harvesting now as much as possible. Well, I think the Red Bull is. And goodness me, look at Dr. Troops. He's all over the Red Bull here on those hard tyres. And so Dr. Troops said really pushing the Red Bull to its limits and beyond here. Accelerating up the hill as well. Over the crest and here. Look at the heat haze coming off of the Emilia circuit here tonight, and now into the chicane once again. Then as the hop, skip, and a jump, accelerating away now, going down into two Ravazza. Said, I think that you very much have to be, a lot quicker than the car in front overtaking to the Ravazzas. So it'll be DRS now, and then going into the chicane, into this turn 2 and 3 chicane, and lap 11 in this race. An incredible race so far. Only one retirement, and unfortunately that is due to Joseph having issues on the start line. And now here comes Dr. Troops once again, takes the lead, cuts across the Red Bull driver of Vessier, and once again is back in the lead, going for a second Grand Prix out of his career. Vettel going for his third Grand Prix win of his career, I think that. But my goodness me, that these two are flying out there at the moment. The gap is just building and building. Even with these two yo-yoing backwards and forwards here, they are still gapping New Potato. The gap is 4.1 seconds now. Serious Mushroom has actually retained his position now from Marsky because Scooby Stew has flown past Heights of Odds. So I'm yourself up in 216 position now. Scooby Stew could be a factor later on in this race there. Even maybe even possible for the mediums to be going very close to maybe a medium. Ooh, sorry, Tango, I've really butchered your comment now. Oh no, goodness me. Maybe even possible for the mediums, but it'll be very hard to achieve that for potentially going on to the soft compound tires. I think that I think there was surmising that maybe the hard tires will go on to the softs later on in this race. Then mediums, Tango potentially might be, but it's going to be very difficult to achieve. Kiki off the circuit. Oh no! Kiki, who's very quick in qualifying, race trim. He does seem to come a cropper, doesn't he? Kiki does. He's down in 10th position now. He has recovered. He's got a very dirty Alpha Tower now, and that's because of all the rain we've had here over the course of the last 2 days. It's beautiful sunshine here now, isn't it, here in Imola? But unfortunately for Kiki, he has lost a couple of positions there, down in 10th position. But he is still very much in the heart of this Grand Prix, which is good stuff indeed there. And we've had 2 spinners so far, but luckily none of them have met the wall. Vesier's retaking the lead here. Then Vintage got a penalty as well. So penalties are starting to roll in ever so slightly now. We aren't at half distance in this race just yet. Half distance will be up in a couple of laps times there, I think. But this is going to be the first race of the week there, where it's very much going to be about pure strategy. Well, I haven't said that. It's very overcast. It's very overcast at the back end of the circuit here. We'll see how that one transpires. But so far, it is beautiful sunshine. Look, New Potato then is almost out of sight then in that long camera shot then, isn't it? He was coming up with the brow there, the Scarlet Ferrari, and the Tifosi may not be too happy with the Ferrari being third and the other Ferrari being down in 17th position there. Brooks has got a 3-second penalty. Dr. Troops all over the back of the road. He is very much Lionel Stern between Vestier and Dr. Troops there. Vestier does have the advantage because he is on the harder tire, the supposed slower tire at the moment there, but Dr. Troops said just cannot seem to break the DRS canny, and I think that was a crucial part of this race. And earlier on then, where he was trying to break it, but unfortunately didn't break it, and now Vestier is being towed along quite nicely from his point of view. Marsky having a look there, but no decisive moment as in front of us. And I think that's a McLaren. It is a McLaren now. New Patel was I was a bit concerned for New Patel there because that was way too close for himself and Serious Mushroom, because New Patel did have about a 4-second gap, and he still has that 4-second gap then. But New Patel currently in a very lovely fourth at the moment, with Marsky in 5th position as well. They're probably very happy with that. There is TK in the background, 3 seconds back. Smithy, Almighty, and Vintage of just that swap position there. Dynamo Dan is also coming involved in this action as well. Smithy Almighty in 12th, 13th position is Vintage, and 14th is Dynamo Dan at the moment there. Do I say it? I'm not going to say it just yet, am I? Yes, I am. No safety cars just yet at this moment in time, as Scuba Stew does not really want to be battling too hard with the Ferrari, does he? He wants to just been getting on with this, but at the moment he cannot get on with this. Look at that car, very slightly on the old rear posterior there, so he's not going to be too happy with that, Scuba Stew, because that's going to very much wear his tyres out, isn't it? Going further on into this race. Yellow flag in Sector 2 is one of the Alpha Taris, and it looks like it's in the facility of Kiki, same place as before potentially. He is crawling, he's just getting back up to speed now. Vintage is, talking of the Alpha Tari, his teammate Vintage has just lost a position down into 30th position. Alpha Tari have had a very difficult and disappointing start into their season this season, haven't they? Down at the bottom of the championship, voting 12 points to their name there for both drivers, and disappointing stuff. However, so long to go in the championship. Of course, there's only round 6 there. We go on to Spain next week. We don't have no Monaco in the calendar. I must remind you that. Then, of course, no Monaco this season. Hopefully, it'll be back on the season, back on the calendar for the very special season 10. Then, so we hopefully will see Monaco back on the calendar. But no, after Spain, we go directly to Canada. Then, So that's going to be very unusual. It looks like Monaco on the counter. I think it's on the F2, isn't it? Dynamo Dan now made his way past Vintage. He's got Smithfield Mighty in his facility now as well in 12th position, I think. Sickers Mug as Star's got 3-second penalty. Sickers Mug has got past Itemizer, who's dropped behind the Aston Martin driver. Now Scooby Shoes finally gapped him as well. Into the pits comes Dr. Troops, and just before 2 laps before the half distance in this race. Yellow flag in sector 1. One of the Ferraris is off, and it's Itemizer who's recovering. Then New Potato's got a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. So is Mushroom now. Oh dear, that is difficult. That's gonna be difficult to swallow for both drivers, I feel. Out of the pits now comes Dr. Troops, and coming in very early on. Then Alpha Romeo Mechanics going to work. New Potato coming out the pits as well. That is going to be crucial for both drivers. And so now New Potato and Serious Mushroom, if they don't pit again, are going to have to gap the drivers behind them. Alpha Romeo doing a bit of a double stack here then. And they were back in position then. Very nicely done there from the Alpha Romeo team. Good stuff indeed. That Brooksy back out in 11th position there. So as you can see in the background, who's that in the background there? Smithy Almighty, who's now behind Dynamo down there, Vintage in 14th position as well. Then so Scooby Stew, I think you would have liked to have been a bit further up. This is the point now in this race where Vestia now needs to start to push hard then. But I think the undercut in this part of the race then is where I think the Dr. Troops is going to try and make hay whilst the sun is shining beautifully tonight then, as we're just watching Vessi at the moment now. He's not going to come to the pits for a number of laps, is he? We had some sad news as well this week that the Imola cat unfortunately has passed away. I think his name was Formula Minio or something like that, wasn't it? And so unfortunately the very favourite amongst the drivers, the Imola cat, then unfortunately passed away. As now Winnie has just got past. No, Dynamo Dan has got past Winnie, but Dynamo Dan's off the circuit then, and now Winnie's all over the back of the Haas car as Dr. Troops has got past Slayer and Marsky also in the pits as well. All over the back now is Winnie, but I don't think he's going to get passed down into the Ravazzas, unfortunately. Marsky coming in the pits now, forgot to breathe again. Alibi staying out. He's done 15 laps on the medium tyres there. We did hear Tango mention that maybe, just maybe that the medium tyres, 5-second penalty again for speeding in the pit. These drivers going to be kicking themselves with these penalties for coming in the pits too hot. Marsky now is a second or 2 seconds behind Serious Mushroom. That is a crucial part of this race now, because he can't now be... Oh my gosh, contact between Vintage and Slayer, and into the first chicane now, and oh dear, Vintage is, Slayer's just come out of the pits now, and wonder if Vintage was unsighted at the Mercedes, and they have come together, unfortunately, and of course it is a very difficult pit lane here, a very difficult exit, of course, it's such a quick straight there down into turn 2. Unfortunately, Vintage and Slayer have come together. I'm not sure if either driver had damage there, but he just caught the end of that there. Duncan Dave has done 14 laps on the medium tyres. He is very much out of sorts with the drivers in front of him here, so unfortunately for Duncan Dave, he may need a safety car or something to get himself back into this one there. On board now with Brooksy, with Vintage there, who I'm not sure if he's limping, but as we go over the brow of the hill then, Brooksy having a look then, he's having another look then. I think he's just trying to distract Vintage at this stage. Vintage, the most experienced bronze driver in ALR history. Hey, my word there! Vintage just has got no pacer coming out of that chicane. Now, goodness gracious me. Brooksy had to take evasive action there, didn't he? Just so he didn't go into the back of the AlphaTauri. But the AlphaTauri is limp and wounded there. I wonder if there's more damage than what we first thought there. Dynamo down into the pits after 15 laps on the on the hard tyres there. I would assume that there's going to be yellow marks and mediums going on for the Haas car there, is there? So watch Dynamo down in the second half of this race then. Kiki now all over the back of Scooby Stew here. Here comes Kiki flying past the Alpine car up into 12th position there. And there he goes. Good stuff indeed. Scooby Stew on a strong race as well. Dynamo down there looking at a beautiful clear pit straight. But look at that Mercedes there. I think Winnie's going to be too far back. Into the pits comes Vessia. Very early actually. I'm surprised at that then. I thought that Vessia would have extended by a couple more laps then, but no, he's in the pits now. Where's Dr. Troops at 19 seconds away then when he made the stop then. He's out of the pits now. It's a longer pit stop. It's a longer pit, this one is. He's now trundling out the pit lane. He has to adhere to the pit lane speed limiter. And across TK's through. And Dr. Troops is through as well. There he goes then. So let's see how this one transpires then. Vestier does have the supposed quicker tire at this stage of proceedings. And look at that. And once again, a lovely clear pit straight there. Vestier can now focus on his main challenge tonight, which is Dr. Troops then. Now this is going to be crucial, isn't it? Vesher has the quicker tyres there. Vesher has the quicker tyres. Dr. Troops then has got his hard tyres fired up. He now has the advantage of about 7 seconds in this race there. He has got TK just in front of us, and TK who won the race brilliantly last week there. However, no, I was supposed to be in the thick of the action tonight then. Unfortunately, we did have an issue in turn 1 then, of course. Whether he was entitled to more space or not remains to be seen then. But TK has really left TK very much, unfortunately, fighting in no man's land at the moment. Serious Mushroom's got past New Potato there as Dr. Troops has taken the lead here and has got through and has taken the retaken lead. And here we go again then. New Potato then and Serious Mushroom fighting, but New Potato's gone wide and because of Alibi here. So goodness me, then this New Potato then jumping a bit here and there on the circle. Unfortunately, that's not going to help, is it, at the moment now? Down to the chicane then. Alibi is not giving up here, is he? And now Alibi then is struggling, and so Serious Mushroom is through and up into 4th position and de facto third at the moment there for Serious Mushroom. He does have penalties, does he? New Potato going up the inside, then Simon through and up into 5th position as well. That was crucial. Into the pits comes TK now. Can New Potato now get past? Look at Marsky there, very much on the hunt as well. Alibi is going to try and go for soft tyres, I presume. Surely he had to use 2 types of tyres in this Grand Prix if it's not raining, and it hasn't rained just yet. Then New Potato now into 3rd position. Then Serious Mushroom down into 4th. Alibi 5th and Marsky in 6th position. Marsky's got the gap to about under a second here, and here he flies then. And Alibi, I think, was frightened off the road there ever so slightly because he seen that Haas car just come out of nowhere and absolutely flying there. Alibi's tyres are going to be well past their best now. Kiki getting past Duncan Dave. Duncan Dave, similar strategy to Alibi, down in 11th position there, hasn't pitted yet on the medium tyres either. Now, let's take a bit of a breath then here. Scooby Stew, strongest race so far, I think, of the season, doing a great job in 12th position. Does have a penalties, and I think he has a lot of penalties as well, unfortunately. So, I think the Scooby Stew, points aspirations may be a bit out of sight there, but let's see that. No, only one retirement so far, that's Joseph. Sick as muck there, not really fighting Dynamo Dan too hard there, because he hasn't got the equipment on 12 lap old soft tyres, which are probably ain't going to pass an MOT test anymore. TK's got a 3-second penalty, as has Slayer as well. 12 laps to go in this race. We'll take a look at the penalty situation in just a jiffy. This race is flying by, goodness gracious me. And I'm not sweating too much either, which is great stuff indeed there, which means less washing for me to do. Gosh, I'm a dirty sod, ain't I? Now here comes Dynamo Dan, then he's going to go for it. New Potato and New Potato and Nude Mushroom. Nope, Serious Mushroom. I'll get there eventually. Into the pits comes Alibi. Swapping position again now. New Potato is through and up into 3rd position there. Oh my gosh, that gap was opening then closer, and Scooby Stew off the circuit. And Dynamo Dan then, who is now through and up into 13th position there. Scooby Stew all over the show here, as that car is lacking a lot of rear grip there, rear stability. Sick as muck is through. Now we've got Smithy Almighty and Winnie. Oh my goodness me! And it's 3 abreast, it's 4 abreast, and there's contact, there's more contact. Where's the Mercedes? And he's just about staying on circuit. Good grief there. Getting very hair and scared, and almost a Russell and Bottas issue down there, albeit with a lot more attendees into the pits itemized on that nightmare race for the second Ferrari driver there. Yes, I don't think Itemizar is going to get any points in this one. Unfortunately, he's also a lap down as well. But the gap in the front is now 7.5 seconds there. But Dr. Troops does have a penalty though, and that is in the favour now of Vessier. And so that is good for Vessier. That's good news for Vessier. The gap of the penalty situation is a 3-second one there. Vessier's got no penalty at all, so he doesn't even need to overtake Dr. Troops to win this Grand Prix. New Potato now goes up into 3rd position, and Serious Mushroom dropping down into 4th there. but the gap, the Serious Mushroom and New Potato needs to gap Marsky here by 5 seconds then, because otherwise Marsky is going to get on that podium. And TK also on the medium tyres there. He is going to be quick as well later on in this Grand Prix. So we'll keep an eye on what TK can do here in this one then. Let's take stock then with just 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix then on board with Serious Mushroom at the moment. It is the gap at the front, 5.5 seconds, but Dr. Troops does have a penalty. Vestian just needs to get within 3 seconds of him, and he will be taking the lead in the Grand Prix. Second position, third position is New Potato at the moment there. Of course, New Potato doesn't look like he's got the pace of the front two. 13 seconds behind Vestier is in second position there, but New Potato would not be too disgruntled by that as long as he gets on the podium. But he has a lot of work to do because Serious Mushroom is not letting him go. Marsky is also gaining on these two as well. Marsky does not have a 5-second penalty at the moment there. There is the penalty situation. New Potato has 8 actually. He needs to find 8 seconds there to stay in front of Marsky. He needs to find 3 seconds to stay in front of New Potato here. Serious Mushroom here. TK, as Aliboy's got 3-second penalty. TK in 6th position is going to be quick on those soft tyres. Can he cause a nuisance for himself in the final stage of this race with 10 laps to go? As Serious Mushroom has a little bit no dice there. Slayer in 7th position there. 3-second penalty as well for Slayer with Brooksy 3 seconds and Kiki with 3 seconds. Currently, all those drivers are status quo there because they're basically balanced themselves out. Duncan Dave in 10th at the moment, but he has not stopped, I don't believe Duncan Dave hasn't. He's done a lot of laps on those medium compound tyres there, Duncan Dave has. Diamond Dan can salvage a point in length from the Haas car. Alibi is going to be quick in 12th position now because he went a very long way on those medium tyres. I think he's now on softs. We have got... and Smith, you're marching 13th position there. Smith marching 13th, Whitty in 14th position. 15th position is Siggers Muck there. 16 seconds of penalty, unfortunately, for Siggers Muck. Vintage in 16th there. 17th for Scooby Stew. 18th for Itemizer. 19th for Stars there. Only one retirement there, which is Joseph, which is cruelly robbed of a return, of a very fantastic return to ALR here tonight. But unfortunately, he has been robbed then by unable to take the start then. Marsky is now within that DRS window here. This is not what the doctor ordered for Serious Mushroom or for New Potato. So this is going to get very interesting indeed then. Siggers Muck coming out of the pits now. I got to say, this has been a very good race so far, isn't it? No safety cars here. It's all been about strategical prowess in this one there. All about trying to keep yourself, trying to keep your tyres in optimal check there. New Potato's got another penalty here. And now Mushroom probably feels that the time may be right. Let's have a look then into the field of chicane. Not quite then, as the Ferrari is just in front of them on there. But New Potato then is very much racing with his mirrors now, then looking out the front of his cockpit here. So Serious Mushroom then, is New Potato getting a very squirrely out of Toza here. We've now got Marsky also in the position as well. Look at the background. That blue flash was TK, who's going to be hunting these drivers down on the very new medium compound tyres there. Gavin at the front is about 7/10 of a second between Dr. Troops and Vestier. Whoa, which means it is Serious Mushroom very sideways there. Marsky is going to have a look into the top of the chicane here. Then, of course, you've got to be very have a very compliant adversary if you're going to overtake on the outside through there. At the moment, Alibi on soft tyres, so 3 laps on the soft tyres. Duncan Dave going on the pits now in 15th position as well. You get a point for fast lap wherever you finish in this race. So the soft runners could very much go for fast lap right at the end of this one. Gap between the front two and the rest of the field is absolutely sublime at the moment there. And the difference between winning and losing this race there is unfortunately a penalty of 3 seconds at the moment there. But Dr. Troops is starting to keep the pressure up on Vessier at the moment there. However, Vessier is on the quicker tyres at the moment. Marsky was alongside Serious Mushroom, but he didn't feel confident enough to outbrake him into the first chicane there. So Marsky is going to have to wait again, and maybe he's going to have another go, maybe down into turn 1. It's very difficult to overtake around here. Probably one clear overtake, then the rest is very much following the leader kind of thing, isn't it? TK is found 2 seconds in the last lap or two, and TK is in the facility now of this battling trio here. New Potato is actually starting to extend now from Serious Mushroom now. So Serious Mushroom, I wonder if he is struggling now to keep the tyres very much in the operating window then, and that is going to be music to the ears of the Ferrari driver in front then, albeit New Potato does have about 11 seconds worth of penalties at this stage of proceedings, don't he? So I think that I think that New Potato is really going to have to start to fly. The Serious Mushroom has lost more time there, and he's, oh goodness me, now here comes Marsky as he has a look into the first Ravazza, not quite, they're just too far back. TK's gained another second on this lap alone, and we haven't even finished this lap then. Out of the foul, the second Ravazza now, then DRS should be on the money now. Serious Mushroom's got no DRS, and he's going to be cursing that 5-second penalty, isn't he? Here's Marsky up into fourth position now, and there is New Potato then just in front of us, and so New Potato, who also has got penalties as well in this situation. It's all about penalties, and we've talked about this over and over, haven't we, throughout the course of the week. That unfortunately for some drivers, they have tripped up on the penalty situation at the moment there. Dr. Troops has now lost the lead on this Grand Prix in terms of time, not on the track though. On the track at the moment there, well, I haven't said that, is yo-yoing around, isn't it? But of course, a 3-second penalty for Dr. Troops has really is really hurting him at this stage of proceedings. But it's not over till it's over in this one. Remember last night, an incredible race in silver there, a safety car about half distance that really turned the Grand Prix on its head, didn't it? No safety car so far, no rain so far either in this race. This has been, dare I say it, straightforward. It's never a straightforward race, is it? It's far from it, but it's very much been a bit more of a strategical dream, hasn't it, really, for some of these drivers tonight? Other drivers, perhaps not so much there. Diamond Dad, great recovery, by the way, to get himself back into 10th position. That's good stuff indeed there. Alibi, I wonder if he's done 5 laps on those tyres already, and he's got another 6 laps to do. 11 laps on the soft tyres. We've seen Sick as Mug do about 12 laps earlier on this race there, but it's going to be a bit of a stretch there. Duncan Dave might be able to salvage something, but there's massive gaps there. 12 seconds between Vintage and Winnie, and 11 seconds between Winnie and Smithfield Mighty. So I think that Duncan Dave, unfortunately, will probably be aiming for just the 1 point now in this race, unfortunately. So Serious Mushroom, who is still in DRS range now with Marsky, but he didn't challenge him on that, did he, Serious Mushroom? One piece now going to start to do a bit of harvesting in this race. The driver of the day will be out momentarily, of course, then. Of course, get your votes in. Of course, Dr. Troops, who's leading this race at the moment there, of course, biggest mover, Serious Mushroom, up to 5th position there. Brooksy from 12th to 12th position up to 8th position. Alibi also doing a good job as well in terms of positions. Vest, you're doing a great race in terms of lack of penalties. Good stuff indeed there with Dr. Treats, who has got that penalty, but he's very much matching Vester at the moment, though, isn't he? Dr. Troops, we very much would love to get back to the winner's circle, which we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him on the podium since Australia. No, Bahrain. Since Bahrain, of course, the opening round of the season. Yellow flag and Scooby Stew out of the race there. And dear, oh dear, that's not good there for Scooby Stew. And he's gone off onto the inside of the second Ravazza here. No safety car in this one then. So I think that's been cleared quite quickly here. And absolute. And what do you expect there for the Italian marshals? Getting the car out of the way quite quickly here. Serious, but unfortunately for Scooby Stew, it was a strong race to begin with for Scooby Stew. Unfortunately, the penalty situation has really cost him, hasn't it? Overall, this race, and unfortunately out of the Grand Prix for Scooby Stew. Hats off to Styles as well, then sticking at it then. Of course, he was a lap down very early from the get-go, but he is still in this race. They're very impressive stuff indeed there. That's more than what I can say, because if I was a lap down that early on, I probably would have got it, probably would have gone to bed, to be fair. But hats off there to Styles. Difficult race here tonight from McLaren driver. Difficult race for both McLarens, to be fair. Smith Mighty has an outside chance of points, but nothing more there. We have got AlphaTauri currently last in the Constructors' Championship now. Well, one AlphaTauri is in the points in at 9th position, the other AlphaTauri in 15th there, but Kiki does have a penalty nonetheless, and the penalties have been raining in quite quickly in the last couple of laps or so, then, as the drivers may be starting to feel a bit fatigued in this race. It's I'm wondering then what's more difficult then, trying to keep yourself very much on the track there and make sure you're not getting any penalties, or is it these difficult circuits? And I think as yellow flag there, and we got a problem for one of the AlphaTauris, and that is Vintage, same place as Smithfield Mighty earlier on this race. He recovers and to not cause a safety car or to cause any VSTs either, down in 17th position, unfortunately, now there for Kiki. Sorry for Vintage, I apologise for Vintage. driver today is Marsky, Mushroom, or Brooksy. Then is your vote for driver today. So get your driver today votes. But Marsky has got 100% there. Currently, Mushroom and Brooksy has not got any votes just yet. Then gap at the front there is yo-yoing around there between Vestier and Dr. Troopset. The more this race goes on, the more that it's going to definitely favour Vestier, surely. We'll keep an eye on that gap then, but you can see it's yo-yoing between 2 seconds and 3 seconds there. It has to be over 3 seconds for Dr. Troops to win this Grand Prix. Vestier has to get it under 3 seconds there to of course win this race. And that is the crux of this one. That is what he needs to do. The objective is simple, but the question is, can he do it? Has he got enough life into those tyres? Vestier's going to very much run it to the edge there, isn't there? But I think, I don't know how to call this one, to be fair. On board TK then, a great, as he is now through and up into 4th position, TK has said. And now that his next target is New Potato. He doesn't even need to pass New Potato to get on the podium here for TK. So TK, I feel that this is one of these races there. Normally in the past where TK had issues right from the get-go, has sometimes had issues, hasn't he, there, TK has there, and potentially not finished in the points or had DNS. But this time, but this season, don't you feel it's, especially since Miami, it's been a new leash of life, hasn't it? As Alibi, unfortunately, not being able to get to the end on the soft tyres, so he's in the pits. A new leash of life then for TK, and on course there to get a podium then, which would be his second podium of the season then. And this is crucial, isn't it, there, because these podiums, these finishing positions, finishing in the points, that is crucial for your championship campaign there, isn't it? And so TK could potentially is looking at a de facto podium here then, to get the old penalties up. There are the penalties at the moment. New Potato got 11 seconds of penalties, which is gonna hurt him, I think, in this one then. I'll tag then say my dude Itemizer is not doing good, unfortunately. I don't know what happened at the start of, but Itemizer was involved in some first lap shenanigans there, unfortunately, which caused 4 or 5 drivers to come into the pits. And no safety car. It's so difficult to get yourself back into this. But Smith and Whitey's got a 3-second penalty as Marsky having a look there at TK, but just too far back at this stage. So that Ferrari just lapping one of the Alpha Taros of Vintage, I believe that was. TK was just a bit too strong there out of the second Rabatza and kept his position there. He wants to get him. He wants to stay away from Marsky, doesn't he, TK? Because he wants to focus on New Potato, albeit he's already got in front of New Potato, doesn't he? He just needs to bring the car home now for TK, doesn't he? That is the most important part for him. That's the most important part of the job now for the Williams driver. And I think Williams will be delighted with TK's bounce back in this one, I would say. Not say very good indeed. Gap then at the front is now almost gone down by half a second there. Dr. Troops, I'm wondering then if he's just ran out of pace there in that Alpine car. And Vessier has got the gap to very much well within 3 seconds. There's 2.5 seconds now between Vessier and Dr. Troops. And that is stretching up again then with just 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix. And I think that this is where we got to be watching now. There it is. Dr. Troops leads the way by 2.5 seconds. There in the background is Vessier. And Vessier now, of course, Vessier's got a 3-second penalty. Good gracious alive. And that is a major blow then for Vessier, because now Dr. Troops could just 2 laps to go, as long as he doesn't get another penalty, can now take the win. Vessier's going to be kicking himself at that, because that is almost certainly costing the Grand Prix win here tonight. Oh dear, Vessier then is going to be disappointed at them, but the second is still on the cards for Vessier. But that has very much let Dr. Troops off ever so slightly. Dr. Troops going for a second Grand Prix win of his career and of the season. Incredible drive in Bahrain here tonight then. Very much a different type of Grand Prix drive for Dr. Troops then, having to soak up the pressure from Vessier. And it looks like the Vessier unfortunately has made a mistake then and has cost him a penalty, which is going to cost him the race win potentially in this race. We're on the final lap now here in Imola, and of course this is the final race of Formula 1 action then in Imola this week there. But of course tomorrow night Formula 2 is back. Formula 2 is back, of course. And I cannot wait for that. Then, of course, it's very much on a fine margin after the action in Baku just over 2 weeks ago. Here is Dr. Troop saying, coming out of Toza then, as we are on the final lap now of this enthralling Grand Prix. I must say, spotless from all drivers out there. Really spotless from all drivers out there. No safety cars. I think we had no VSCs either, did we? I don't believe. Of course, we had a very strange VSC at the start of Silver last night, didn't we? We've had a safety car start in bronze, haven't we, in Saudi Arabia? Now we've had a VSC start in silver as well. So incredible stuff. I've never thought I'd see that then, but tonight then, no full course cautions. No, so just I say that one of the Haas cars is crawling. I think that I'm not sure who that is yet. We'll take a look in just a jiffy. But out of the second rebuttal, it's Marsky having issues. Oh no! But out of the final corner, and Dr. Troops wins the Grand Prix here in Imola, and his second Grand Prix win of his career in ALR Bronze. And fantastic stuff fantastic stuff for Dr. Troop said. I thought that Vestiaire is going to be kicking himself with that late issue there. And Marsky has ran out. I reckon he's run out of fuel. Let's take a look at the telemetry. He's run out of fuel, Marsky has, and this is an ultimate blow there for Marsky. He was winning driver of the day, but I think that this may sway the driver of the day, the final results for driver of the day, because Marsky has thrown away a certain fourth position here, and he's going to be kicking himself with that. I'm not sure what happened though with Serious Mushroom, because I thought he would have been a guaranteed fourth at the end there, but somehow he finished behind New Potato, so we'll have to investigate that at the end of that race then. But Dr. Troop said, two-time Grand Prix winner now, and he has inserted himself back in the World Championship, surely. Really good result indeed then. New Potato then once again there, that was his worst result of the season for New Potato. That's the first time, that's his joint worst result of the season, like in Bahrain, where he finished fourth today. There for New Potato, but that is still crucial points, though, isn't it? And just like in Bahrain as well, Dr. Troops has taken the Grand Prix win for himself and for the Alpine team as well. Then good stuff indeed. Serious Russia, well, that was absolutely rubbish from me without that stupid pit penalty. We did mention that was he'd be kicking himself. Serious Mushroom would have been on that. That was his only mistake of the day, unfortunately, for Serious Mushroom, and possibly cost him fourth or maybe even third today. But those three drivers on the podium, including New Potato in fourth position there. I think those four drivers are going to be on each other's tails and for majority of the season as the bubbly is being sprayed here tonight. Magnificent stuff indeed then. Well, I must say that was a very refreshing Grand Prix, wasn't there? A very unusual Grand Prix in league racing these days, isn't it? We don't really get to see much like head-to-head racing without safety car intervention and stuff like that. Marsky gets driver of the day, but I think that might be a bit of a consolation considering he'll be very disappointed with how this one transpired. Dr. Troops' second Grand Prix win of his career. Brilliant driver for Dr. Troops. Vestiaire potentially, I think he'd be kicking himself with that one there. 3-second penalty at the very end there. Cost him potentially the race win. TK, great drive to third in the end there. Very much kept himself in it. New Potato in fourth with Mushroom fifth. Slayer sixth. Marsky seventh. Brooksy eighth. Diamond down ninth. Kiki getting the final point in 10th position. Smith and White 11th. Duncan Dave 12th. Winnie 13th. Alibi 14th. Itavizar 15th. Vintage 16th. Sickers Monk 17th. And Stars 18th. Retirements was Scooby Stew and Joseph on his return. Unfortunately, didn't get a chance there to shine, which is a big shame there, unfortunately. And I think in the commentary box now we have all three drivers. Fantastic stuff indeed there. Let's talk to the Grand Prix winner, Dr. Troops. Then your second Grand Prix win today, but my goodness me, it was. I was saying in the commentary box earlier on that it's going to be very difficult for you to get this win. But my goodness me, there you definitely got it towards the end there. But how are you feeling after that race? Then I'm sure you're overjoyed.
Yeah, it was a difficult race because I had to, especially in my second stint, I had to push a lot because I had a 3-second penalty in Bifestia. Didn't have any penalties. So, yeah, I did get a penalty in that. So.
Yeah, indeed. Then, did you think then when you got that 3-second penalty, because it was such a close race there between yourself and Vestia, that you two were absolutely in a league of your own today? Then, brilliant stuff indeed. There, but did you think when you got that penalty initially, did you think it was all over?
No, because it's pretty easy to get penalties around Imola, so it was a pretty high chance that Professor was gonna get a pen somewhere. I almost got 6 seconds actually. I was winding off, so.
Oh, cool as you like there, and of course, you when you two was on opposite strategies today, then of course you started on the medium, went to the hard tires. On the hard tires, was you concerned about Vescher's pace going on the mediums towards the end of that race there?
Um, well, I was 8 seconds ahead of him, so I knew his tires would die off in the end. Um, so I wasn't really worried about that, to be honest.
What was you worried about in this race? Because you seem to be quite laid back. Was you concerned about anything in this Grand Prix? Was anything on your mind at all in the cockpit?
Keeping the car within the track limits, yes.
Brilliant stuff indeed. And this is your second Grand Prix win. Of course, you had an absolute clinic of a Grand Prix in Bahrain, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. And so you got a fourth place in Miami last week. Then you were certainly very much on the championship's tail. Then, of course, if you did miss those two Grand Prix, I think you would have been very much in it then. Uh, are you thinking about Are you in the championship? Is what I'm trying to ask.
I don't know. I'm just taking it race by race, and I'll see where I end up.
I love it. So cool. I'm going on to Spain then next week. Then, of course, there's a technical track. Then it's all about car setup. How are you feeling for that one?
Um, I don't know what based around Spain, but I think I'll be good at Spain. So I'll practice with Brooksy, and then we'll see.
Really good 17-1 and stay troops. Brilliant performance there. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Let's come to Vessier, finished second today. Vessier, goodness me, then it looked like that you might have just been able to edge Dr. Troops towards the end, but that 3 second penalty late on may have cost you the win today.
Yeah, a little mistake on my side made me go a little bit wide on the left-hander after the hairpin. And because I was on my final warning, it kind of cost me a bit. So yeah, disappointed on that part, but otherwise, good race between me and Drew Pox, especially in the first stint.
It was an incredible race between yourself and Dr. Troop said. With you two like so far out in front then, did you feel that you could maybe take a risk on the strategy at all? Or was you thinking, nope, this is my strategy, I'm going to stick to it, and I'm just going to try and see if I can force Dr. Troops into a mistake?
I was thinking about the hard softs pitting later on the hards, but the undercut is just so strong, and the tyre wear is quite high around here, so I just played it safe and thought about championship points, especially closing in on new potato.
And do you think, by the sounds of it, then, do you think about the championship in a race like this? Then, did you think that instead of going for the win, then that all you was concerned about was taking points off a new potato, even if it was only 7 points to stay there, but that could be crucial later on. Then, so was you just more concerned about just finishing this race?
Yeah, I was really concerned about this race, finishing this race, because the last 2 rounds I didn't score many points, so it was good to get back on form and on the podium again.
It is indeed, and how are you feeling and going on to Spain in a week's time? Then, I think the Dr. Troops, I think, is definitely starting to become a major factor in this title, and I do think that TK then, who's really shown some mettle in the last 2 races as well. How are you feeling then about this championship? Then, because it's not just you and New Potato, is it, in this fight?
No, it ain't. Just got to take it race by race. I think I'll have some decent pace at Spain. I'm not quite sure. So, yeah, we'll see.
That's the beauty about live sports, is that we don't know until we get that fantastic stuff today, Vesher. Brilliant second position. Really well done. And TK, you finished third today, which I think that I would say that you should be overall satisfied with that, considering the fact you dropped down to sixth in turn one there. It got a bit tense in turn one by the looks of things.
I just didn't get left enough space. Like Vessier just used me as his battering ram in turn one. I don't know how else to put it.
But on the bright side, though, you did recover to a very good third at the end. Then, and do you think that that's a step forward then? Because sometimes in the past, there you may have had issues later on in the race. Then, but this is definitely a positive result though for yourself though with third position.
This game overall it's easier on the no TC guys. Like I've never used traction control, and last game was so tough on the guys that didn't use TC. But I mean, this game's overall way easier. So we'll see. Spain's a good track for me, so we'll see what happens. I'm just yeah, like you said, I was happy with getting back to third. I didn't think it was going to happen because I had to make up 11 seconds after I pit, but it happened. So we'll see what happens in Spain.
It was a very clean race apart from where it got a bit tight into turn one. Then, do you think if maybe if you had a bit of luck with safety cars or something untoward happened that you might have been able to squeeze back in and maybe challenge the front two today?
I'm not sure honestly. I didn't really get a chance to see on the first stint. I was kind of hoping that I would got to see, but then again, like I'm so bad here. So third for me, actually, I'm very happy overall with it. The first sector is just it's such a pain. That first chicane, if you take it even a little bit wrong, you're just in trouble. And yeah, so I don't know. GG to the top two.
And you did mention about Spain. Then, how are you feeling for Spain? And it seems like the it seems like Vessia and Dr. Troops are looking forward to Spain. How are you feeling for Spain?
I've already done a league race at Spain. It was one that was dry that went wet. So, and I did pretty good. I got second. So we'll see what happens.
Good stuff. Well done to all three podium sitters today. Brilliant stuff indeed. And that's going to be it for the Formula 1 action. We got Formula 2 tomorrow night, though. So Formula 2 returns after a 2-week hiatus. I got to say, I can't remember what happened in Formula 2 2 weeks ago. But then again, I can't remember what I had for dinner about an hour ago. That is going to be it then from us tonight here in ALR. Fantastic stuff indeed there. We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow night for Formula 2 action then. So, yes, don't go anywhere then. We got one more race then around the beautiful, spectacular Imola circuit. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.